Have you ever bounced between hyperfocus and total shutdown, or planned your whole week just to abandon it by Tuesday? This one's for you. Today I'm sharing 6 tools that will actually help you stay productive without sending you into burnout mode. And these aren't hacks, they're what I use to stay regulated and consistent and functional as a late diagnosed AuDHD woman, leader, and mum, and without pretending to be a robot. Welcome back, Neuro Glorious Gang. It's your Neuro Fabulous bestie, Nicola, and today we're talking about staying productive without crashing. Now, if you're new here, kia ora, hi, my name is Nicola. I make videos for neurodivergent people, especially those of us navigating life after late diagnosis. We talk about journaling systems, surviving life with an overactive brain. So if this sounds a little bit like you, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget the little bell so you don't miss out on the next one. I need the validation. I was diagnosed earlier this year with AuDHD in my 40s of many years of masking, overachieving, and quietly melting down behind the scenes. I have led teams, I've built a business, I burnt out, I sold that business. These tools are not flashy. They're not rocket science, but they've helped me stop chasing motivation and starting to build more consistency that actually works for my brain. Now, before we jump in, let's quickly talk about AuDHD. It's a blend of autism and ADHD, 2 neurotypes that overlap more than people think, but can also contradict each other in really confusing ways. For me, it means I can hyperfocus and forget to eat, go to the bathroom, do pretty much anything, but I also get overwhelmed by the sound of the fridge. I can be creative, I can be a visionary, and completely melt down when the plans change suddenly. And burnout, so much burnout. Oh, burnout. It hits differently when you're neurodivergent. Autistic burnout isn't just exhaustion, it's a full shutdown. You lose skills, words get harder to pronounce, sensory input gets louder and more painful, and you start masking harder or you can't mask at all. ADHD burnout can look like disappearing into screens, forgetting everything on your to-do list, or feeling physically heavy from the pressure to just do one thing. And if you're both, that's AuDHD, the conflict and the contradiction and the beauty. But it also means we have to plan differently. Now, what does burnout feel like for you? There's no wrong answers. We all experience it differently. And as someone who's always trying to learn, I'm curious to know what that feels like or looks like for you. So comment below, tell me how you feel that and how you experience it, and kind of let's go from there. Okay, so let's get started. Visual timers and racing myself. I use visual timers so that I can see time. I don't know who decided time should be invisible, but for me, it's a problem. So I'll often set a 20 to 30 minute timer and race myself. Can I reply to all these emails before the timer goes off? Can I pack away the laundry before the timer goes off? And I'll challenge myself with something really basic, like unpacking the dishwasher before the countdown ends. It turns the whole experience into a game. And when it's over, I stop. No punishment, no pushing through. For me, it's visualizing time, and it helps regulate the urgency without the internal yelling. So the second one that I do is body doubling or parallel play. Sometimes I need a body double. That's just working near someone else, quietly. I might call a friend, usually my partner. I need to do these emails. Can we parallel play? Or I'll message my partner to say, I'm doing laundry now. Can you ask me if I'm finished in 20 minutes? It's not even about accountability. It's about co-regulation. Having someone nearby makes the hard stuff less lonely and way more doable. The other thing that I'm really potentially good with and really stick to is time boxing, and I am relentless with it. But I also have rewards. So I block time in my calendar, but only in ways that feel quite soft. So I'll say from 10 to 11, I'm working on administration, I'm working on leadership goals. Then after that, I get a break. Just a short break. Maybe it's stretching, a fancy coffee, 15 minutes of guilt-free to scroll Instagram. The time box gives me containment, and then the reward gives me dopamine. And sometimes the reward is just not having to make another decision. But most of the time, at the moment, my reward is being able to research my hyperfixation. So we're heading over to Japan later this year, and my reward is being able to research things about Japan. And look, I have to time box that as well, so I'll give myself maybe 5 minutes to check out some new reels about it, but it gives me something to really look forward to. If I'm honest, I know that there's a ton of stuff that I need to do over the next 2 weeks. And a lot of it is administrative heavy, and some of it doesn't excite me, but it has to be done. So I am waiting a full 2 weeks to dedicate an entire day, an entire Saturday, to researching things about Japan. I'm so excited. Now I'm just curious to know, what visual timers, body doubling, what do you use? Or is it something totally different? I'm curious to know. So, on to the next thing. Task and habit stacking. Task stacking has been a total game changer. I'll stack something I need to do, like checking my calendar, with something I already do, like making my morning coffee. Or I'll fold laundry while watching a comfort show. It takes a lot of the friction out, and it feels more like a rhythm than a routine. And I don't have to remember the hard thing. It's just built into something I'm already enjoying. The big one for me is watching something while I do the laundry. I love watching 90 Day Fiancé, let's just be clear. The next one for me is making sure that I'm really clear about kind of giving myself permission slips for when I slip up. This one might sound silly, but it's saved me on more than one bad week. I write myself little permission slips that say you're allowed to rest, because for me, rest is not safe and I feel like I have to be going all the time. I also have it's okay to change your mind, because I feel like once I'm committed to it, my autistic side is like, you are committed to this forever. I'm still valuable when I'm doing nothing. That's a big one for me. Sometimes I just need to see the words, because for years, productivity has and was tied to self-worth. If it wasn't producing something, I felt like a failure. These reminders help me unlearn that. One day at a time. I know that it'll take time. The last thing I use is my emergency planning kit, my oh shit protocol. It's my burnout backup plan, and I call it my oh shit protocol because it's like, oh shit, I can't make decisions. I'm feeling really burnt out. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, blah. So in short, it's a checklist. It checks if I have had enough water for the day. I usually have. I don't eat a lot of food during the day, which is confusing. But because I forget, food is not important to me. It checks if I've done 15 minutes outside. Am I wearing clothes that are comfy? Side note, how cute is this jumper that says overstimulated? I'm in love. Also, it's very comfy. So I keep it in my journal or my planner, and sometimes on my computer. For this checklist, it's not about thriving. It's about staying upright, because sometimes just survival is the goal, and that's enough. This is part of my actual routine, and it's really what I use when I start feeling the familiar burnout spiral creeping in and I can't think straight anymore. Water, food, outside, comfy clothes, one tiny win. It's not about fixing everything. It's about keeping myself together in that moment. And I make sure that it's on my desktop, because when things are hard, I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. So I've got scripts planned for text messages. I have got things I can do, like little snacks I have hidden in my office to make sure that I can regroup. Now, if this is not something you have, or you haven't tried it and you're tired of like white knuckling your way through shutdowns, I've actually made a template of it that you can just download below. It's printable, literally, oh shit, and you can customize it for you, because I found it's worked for me. There's a little checklist, fill in the blanks, do it when you're not in shutdown mode, obviously. It's got pre-made scripts for you as well for when you can't find the words, whether it's to a friend, a partner, or even to work. If you want to make your productivity and well-being feel safer and softer, actually supportive for AuDHD brains, it's for you. No pressure, no perfection, just honest, practical neuroaffirming support. And it's free, folks. So you can grab that right below using the link. And I'd love to hear what part of this resonates with you the most as well. So if today has helped, give it a little like or send it to someone else whose brain works a little differently. You can check out more videos down over here, especially if you're figuring out life post-diagnosis like I am. It's a journey, and I feel like if we're on the journey together, what a great opportunity to keep learning. I think that's probably what makes it the most fun, is that we're creating a community where we can talk about these things and start normalizing AuDHD in late diagnosed women. I'm quite excited. Let's do it.